Hi there, it's Sam Taylor here from Callaway Golf, and I'm joined by Phil Scott. And following on from our videos about Epic Flash and the Stroke Lab putters, we're here today to talk to you about the new Apex and Apex Pro irons. We're here at the wonderful Els Club, and on the second hole we're going to have a bit of a par 3 challenge so you can get closer. Phil's using the Apex irons and I'm going to use the Apex Pro, so let's see how we get on. Okay, well that was interesting. I mean, it's pretty windy here today, so I think Phil managed to hit a 5 iron. I was hitting a 4 iron. So how did you go on with the Apex irons there?
Yeah, I mean, the Apex for me, obviously, great looking iron, and they felt fantastic. They're a club where I felt I could control the flight, even in this wind. I was hitting 5 iron there and really managing to flight it down a little bit into that wind, so I had a nice penetrating ball flight on there.
Well, I mean, obviously the Apex irons from 3.5 years ago were super popular iron. It's taken them 3.5 years to come up with this, and now what we're seeing is new technology going into the club with the urethane microsphere that we saw in the Rogue. They've moved it across into both the Apex Pro and the Apex that you used.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you think that helped you with the shot there?
Yeah, it's just the feel for it, obviously. From that perspective, the feel's phenomenal. Very hot kind of club off the face, really giving you some good ball speed there, really helpful kind of iron. But in the same sense, obviously with them being able to control where the weight is in the face and the thickness of the face, you're now seeing more control in terms of trajectory, which is perhaps something that they've improved since last time.
Well, I mean, I think what you touched on there with the control and the distance, a lot of that's going to come from the cup face technology that Callaway are so famous for, being able to keep that thin and low in the face to help with both launch and and distance there. So they've got it in the Apex like they had in the previous model, but they've now introduced it into the Apex Pro as well, which is phenomenal. So from the 7 iron up, we have the cup face, which helps again with those sort of longer irons and shots like this. Makes it more controllable, makes it easier to hit the shot you want.
Yeah, I think perhaps we're both players that in the past might have liked a bladed club, but as we play less golf, we're a little bit more office bound these days, don't play as much as we'd like. Clubs like this start to move into our remit. One of the reasons why I never used to play with them was because I didn't feel like I could control that flight, but as you say, with them changing the weight in the face, you're getting a more penetrating flight with the lower kind of, more lofted clubs in there. You're scoring iron, so you can hit that penetrating flight in there as well.
I think another thing to mention about the clubs is the beautiful look of them, really, Phil. I mean, in the Apex especially, what is it that brings them to life? What's so beautiful about them?
Yeah, I think when I've showed them to a lot of people now, and everybody seems to love them. They've gone for the platinum chrome finish across there, which is a really nice finish, especially out here in the sunshine. It's a nice kind of brushed look to it there. So, yeah, something that a lot of people are thinking very highly of, certainly.
Well, I mean, it rolls off into the Apex Pro as well. It's a platinum chrome finish on these too. So what you've got is a nice straighter leading edge that they've put into it, and a thinner top line. I mean, they worked really closely with a lot of players to achieve that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth mentioning the most premium offering from Callaway Apex and Apex Pro, which is the smoke finish. And it also comes with that black Elevate shaft, which just makes it look really awesome. I think this is going to be very popular across the region.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we've spoken about the Apex and the Apex Pro clubs. I mean, you see for yourself how good they look. We know how good they play, don't you think, Phil?
Yeah, certainly a great feel.
So come down and try them for yourself at any of the Callaway fitters in the region. Thanks.